What's going on, everybody? Teddy Baldassar here. So the Speedmaster is not an unfamiliar watch on this channel. We've covered many different variants of the line. But today we're gonna be looking at the 50th anniversary Silver Snoopy edition, a new release for 2020. And honestly, this is probably one of the cooler Speedmasters I can remember in recent memory, especially when you see this case back. This one you have to see to believe, but let's take a closer look. And guys, before we jump into this video, just really quickly, blog down below looking at 67 of my favorite watches I either reviewed this year or were released this year. And I didn't actually include this one in there just because I finished that before this, but now looking back, I might need to make some changes. But down in the description below, definitely check it out if you do kind of want a snapshot of what was either covered this year or released. So Omega's connection to space exploration doesn't need any further introduction, as they'll be very eager to tell you all about it in pretty much any marketing material that they put out there. But you might be asking, why is there a cartoon dog on this watch? And for myself even included, when first looking at the previous Snoopy editions, you're kind of ask yourself, what is the affiliation here? But there's actually a pretty cool backstory between, of course, Snoopy, Omega, and NASA. Now, this all really started with a way to devise a way to lighten up the mood in the high-stake world that is space exploration. Popular Peanuts character Snoopy was selected by NASA as sort of a safety mascot to be used in their marketing materials and collectibles to promote the space program, and Snoopy was even the name given to the lunar module for the Apollo 10 mission. In 1968, though, NASA introduced the Silver Snoopy Award, presented to ground crew members, support staff, contractors, and suppliers who have, quote, contributed to the human spaceflight program to ensure flight safety and mission success, according to NASA. The Silver Snoopy Award, commemorated with a sterling silver Snoopy lapel pin, which has flown into space in a shuttle mission, is presented by an astronaut and is highly coveted by those in the space industry. In 1970, Omega, already the official supplier of Speedmaster watches to NASA, earned the Silver Snoopy Award for the watch's role in rescuing the crew of the Apollo 13 mission. So clearly Snoopy holds a special place both for Omega as a brand and Speedmaster enthusiasts as well. Fast forward to 2003, this was when Omega first put Snoopy on the 9 o'clock subdial of the Speedmaster, with the professional Snoopy reference 357851. A lot of hype among collectors and soaring aftermarket values spurred on the 2015 release of a second Snoopy Speedmaster, the Silver Dial Speedmaster Snoopy Award. Now again, Omega have dipped again into the Snoopy well with the new Omega Silver Snoopy Award, the 50th anniversary Speedmaster, featuring a silver and blue color scheme and an exciting movement upgrade within. Now, starting with the specs of this piece, we have a familiar overall format. Case size 42 millimeters, thickness at 14.5 millimeters, lug to lug of 47 millimeters, lug width 20 millimeters, water resistance of 50 meters. Movement is a manual Omega coaxial 3861, also METAS certified. Crystal is a dome sapphire with AR coating on both sides, and a price $9,600. And Omega has been a little bit mysterious in terms of the production of these. This is said to be not limited. They did say they were going to roll these out to boutiques in late November. Still a little bit early as I'm recording this, it's early December, so still kind of waiting to see what the overall production output of these are going to be. Now, considering this watch is a Speedmaster after all, the fit is going to be rather straightforward compared to the standard model, with a pretty similar yet comfortable wearing experience that we've kind of come to expect. At 42 millimeters with its diameter, the Speedmaster wears a bit smaller than that like normal, closer to say a 40 to 41 millimeter on most wrists. It's a fact aided by the reasonable lug to lug of 47 millimeters, making it certainly wearable for even smaller wrists out there. Compared to other chronos, the Speedy is immensely comfortable thanks to its somewhat recessed crown design, asymmetrical case, and pushers that barely stick out past the crown. However, given the vintage style dome sapphire that adds more than a couple millimeters of thickness to this case, and it is designed to give off that same feel as the original Moonwatch's Hezolite crystal, but with sapphire durability. We are looking though at a non-insignificant 14.5 millimeters with its height, which might make it difficult to wear under a dress shirt cuff, but should be perfectly fine when throwing it over a spacesuit. The watch comes in a blue nylon fabric strap that matches the blue on the rest of the piece as well, but given its elevated price, probably would have been nice to see an option for a bracelet version as well. Now transitioning to the case here, it is executed in stainless steel and benefits from Omega's signature turn lug design, which is a huge part of what makes the Speedy such a recognizable watch, even at a glance from a distance. Equipped with a well-done brushed finish on top and a polished finish on the sides, crown, and pushers, the Speedmaster case is one of the most distinctive on the market. Around the outside of the dial, we have a ceramic bezel coming in blue to match the dial elements underneath the sapphire crystal with a white enamel tachometer scale. Now, with most watches, I typically spend a bit more time highlighting the elements of the dial instead of the closed case back, but similar to the other Snoopy models, there's a custom case back design taking place here. And to put it simply, the one that this Snoopy has is one of the best and most creative that I have ever seen. The Silver Snoopy's caseback features a photorealistic image of the moon with the Earth partially obscured in the background. And then a cartoon lunar module with a Snoopy at the helm actually moves in a circle around the caseback, disappearing and reappearing as he ducks behind the moon. To add to the coolness, the rotating Earth is located on the backside of the running small seconds hand subdial and will mirror its 60 seconds in order to do a full rotation. And for the Snoopy lunar module, this works in unison with the running central seconds of the chronograph. As when you engage the 2 o'clock pusher to stop and start the chronograph, Snoopy will mirror the stopping and the starting, and then when pressing the 4 o'clock pusher to reset, he will then jump back and hide behind the moon where he will rest when the chronograph is at its resting position at 12 o'clock. For me, this animated caseback is the highlight of the watch and something I've really never seen before executed to this degree. I think it makes this watch very special, and in a sea of Speedmasters where it seems like sometimes they are going for a quick cash grab, this is anything but it. I think it's a great way to honor this 50-year anniversary. Besides the incredible caseback, on the front of the watch, we get the familiar dial design from Speedmasters with small nods to the Silver Snoopy 50-year anniversary. Now, Snoopy again makes a cameo appearance in his spacesuit, here embossed on the 9 o'clock register, measuring 60 seconds. But different to the last two Snoopy watches, which had black and white dials, the Silver Snoopy has a silver dial, accented by blue hands. The watch has applied markers containing superluminova to match that within the handset. Other than Snoopy's inclusion and the blue and silver color scheme, the dial is classic Speedmaster, signed with the traditional 12 o'clock position with an applied Omega logo and the standard Speedmaster professional dial text. Overall, the dial works well with these colors, having great contrast like the original while differentiating itself from the standard watch, a difference made even more significant by the movement within. Now, the traditional Speedmaster Professional runs on the well-known manual caliber 1861, a movement descended from the original Moonwatch's caliber, now with a rhodium plating and a 48-hour power reserve. That is of course all well and good, but in order to make this Silver Snoopy stand out a bit more, and also to justify the price jump of this one at $9,600, Omega has utilized an upgraded 3861 caliber, which is also manual wind, but is equipped with a coaxial escapement, 50-hour power reserve, a certification by Metas, a silicon balance spring, increased decoration as well, and is unaffected by exposure to strong magnetic fields, even those greater than 15,000 Gauss. And typically I would probably knock not having an exhibition caseback on a manual caliber from Omega. But even with this movement, as we mentioned, the incredible animated caseback on the Silver Snoopy more than makes up for it here, and I couldn't think of any better sight when flipping this one over. So now just to unpack here, and when looking at this Speedmaster and just looking at Omega in general, it's important to consider kind of the thought process behind the entire brand and what they ultimately have to do. They're a member of the Swatch Group. I think limited editions and just Speedmaster after Speedmaster is kind of just the way in which they're able to sell product at a quick degree, really hitting into specific target demographics that will sell well and ultimately move product. On the flip side though, this almost creates a Boy Who Cried Wolf type of scenario where you hear about a new Speedmaster and then another Speedmaster and then another. And then you just kind of get desensitized to the fact that there's a new Speedmaster out there. And when Omega comes along and they release a watch like this, which I think is incredibly unique, certainly not for everybody at $9,600, and of course, marketing or at least branding around the Snoopy, which I could see some people maybe finding a bit gimmicky. I was certainly in that camp before learning more about the backstory behind Snoopy and its affiliation with the NASA program, and of course, Omega. But it's not gonna be for everybody. But when you see this watch, you see that case back, there's something really special here. And even if this watch isn't for you, I think this is just a thoughtful watch release from Omega. And from a 321 to this, I think this even puts a little bit more thought. I see the 321 release as being more of like, yes, it's an obvious release. This is one where you can see that there were some minds put together, there was thought going in, and when looking at future Speedmaster releases, I think that's the type of just thought process that should go into this. Am I gonna say that this is the watch that Speedmaster that I would personally buy? Probably not, but in terms of what this is delivering, the case back, upgraded movement, and staying true to, I think, the great history that Omega has and its connection to NASA, and doing it very tastefully and in a fun way, this is certainly one of the cooler releases, just objectively, of 2020, in my opinion, from a mainstream brand. And I think Omega did a great job with this piece. I can't just get over that case back. It's just so freaking cool. I just can't get over it and can't stop talking about it. It's fun, and in a world of so many Speedmasters out there, this one finds a way to be very unique. So guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this new Speedmaster release. If you did enjoy the video, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Also leave a comment down below. What is your favorite Speedmaster? What do you think of this one? Tell me what you think of that case back. I think it's absolutely the star of the show in terms of this piece overall. In addition, head over to teddyballstar.com, full authorized dealer over 25 brands, have hundreds of different watch straps to choose from. If you've not seen my recent watch strap tour, definitely check that out as well. Just one of the recent videos that I had on the channel, so you can see how all the straps are made. Also follow us on Instagram so you can stay up to date with the content, see what's coming next, and also see some pretty cool photos of watches. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.